Hello everybody and welcome once again to ThatMatt85. Today we are again doing a Goodwill games, this time of the Windows 95 game Army Men. As you can see, I am starting to load it up on my Windows 95 computer, and before we get into it, I'd like to ask if you like these kinds of videos, feel free to give me a thumbs up, lets me know how the video is doing, and subscribe for more of the same type of Goodwill game reviews, technology talks, and all sorts of different things that I put up here on my channel. So this is the first of the Army Men line of games, which for the most part is just linked that they are the plastic green Army Men toys that everyone got as a kid, instead of an actual Army Men type of game. But it replicates these types of games, and in this case it's more of a third-person shooter type game, even though it kind of has a RTS backdrop to it. But you take over a soldier, you have missions, you go try to accomplish them by moving yourself around the map using the keyboard, not your mouse. In fact, all the controls are through the keyboard, not the mouse. There was a training mission, which you see here, which is basically just going from place to place, picking up the different types of weapons and using them on targets. In this case, the targets don't move, they just stand there, and your inventory consists of your main machine gun, a secondary weapon like grenades or such, and a third kind of item, which could be healing yourself, or sweeping for mines or other useful items that you can find on the map. This tutorial also gives you vehicles to jump inside and play around learning how to use them. Now the tutorial might be a little bit better if it really told you how to do stuff. Instead, it just kind of gives you a playground to do stuff, and I don't know if like the big box version of this game came with a big instruction book, but I have just the CD inside its CD case, and it just has a picture for the cover. It doesn't have the instruction booklet, so I kind of had to figure out what I was doing through some of these tutorial hints and looking up the instructions online. For the one-player campaign mode, lets you put in a name to keep track of your own character, apart from anybody else that might be playing. Lets you pick from a few different areas, maps basically, and gives you a couple scenarios on those maps to run through. I started with the first one in the desert, the first map, and just to get kind of an idea of how the game plays. The map is gridded and on the bottom right for you to see. This means when they give you orders to go to a certain area, you kind of know how to get to that area. There are other colored army men that are just kind of popping up in your way or might pop up depending on the scenario. There are boxes with different items in them that you can grab, and sometimes when you kill an opponent, you get some of the stuff that they drop. But as I said before, there's a limit of what weapons you can have and how many you can have, so you want to pick the weapon that suits you or suits your mission best. Now, looking at the mini-map to try and guide you to where you're going, it's hard to see exactly where you can go, where there are paths you can go, but I kind of get that. I get that they don't want to show you too much. It's just supposed to be an overview, and you kind of explore your way around. You do have to be careful a little bit, as there are obstacles besides just other army men that can kill you on the map. On a negative, it is kind of sometimes a little confusing on what you're supposed to be doing or how to do it. And as far as combat goes, you kind of just run up till you see somebody and then start shooting them. There's not a whole lot of evasive maneuvering you can do. So it's not exactly terribly exciting. You just be, again, running up to people, shooting them, running up to the next person and shooting them. The missions that I played through here are kind of basic. The first one was to go to the weapons cache, which just showed me where it was, and basically just take control of it, which is killing the dude that was in there and going in there myself. Second was to stop an escort that the other army men were doing, and third was to go capture a tank, bring it back over to our home base, and then use it to help defend the home base. Now here's the problem. With the third mission, which I was already getting kind of bored at this point, but with the third mission, I got to where our tank was. It was behind a fence, and I could not figure out how to get to the tank. I even got a little confused before that, ran all the way to where our home base was, and I needed the tank there to defend it. So I had to go get the tank. But yeah, I couldn't find the tank. I was already not having fun, and that's kind of where I quit the game. Now, understand I can't give you a super in-depth review when I'm quitting the game so early, but I've also made a promise to myself not to play games I'm not really enjoying for hours and hours and hours of my life and just end up regretting it. I played it enough to feel like I don't really want to play it anymore. Part of this too, I understand that it's an older game, but there are older games that withstand the test of time. This just isn't one of them. I feel like maybe at the time, around 1998 when this came out, I believe that's when it came out anyways, that this could have held up a lot better against the competition, the other types of games that were out at the time. But right now it's just lacking so much. Army Men is an interesting concept. It's just, again, at the time there wasn't a whole lot you could do with it. It by nature was very generic, so it was hard to really care too much about the different colors of Army Men. That being a big part of why I didn't care too much about the game. But yeah, I didn't see it getting a whole lot better, and I wasn't enjoying what I was doing at the time, so that's what made me end up quitting. So I want to apologize a little bit about having a kind of short, quick review here, but at the same time, it's better to give the main points of it, get it over with, instead of trying to draw it out for too long when it's already a boring game, and it's hard to make it an interesting review of a boring game. So thank you for watching, and I want to remind you, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like. Subscribe for more content. Check out my Twitter at thatmat85 for live streams I might be doing and any sort of other content I might be releasing at any point in time. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.